Nah, it's gotta have a little bit more to it. Bitch, I'm piped up. Yeah. We have a new world to come. She's like, how is he so proper? Oh, goddamn, I know I'm about to be a problem. I know I can kill this bitch cause I'm a monster. I don't fuck with crab ass niggas, I like lobster. Yeah. Bitch, I'm piped up. I've been going crazy on the right stuff. I just need that weed. I don't fuck with white stuff. I just need some trees. Baby, let me pipe up. You don't know what shit I'm on. Pop another molly in this bitch, then I'm gone. I just need another drink, but all we got's Patron. Only thing I need is Henny, then I'm all beyond. She's like, how is he so proper? Oh, goddamn, I know I'm about to be a problem. I know I can kill this bitch cause I'm a monster. I don't fuck with crab ass niggas, I like lobster.
Oh, goddamn, think I'm about to be a problem. Whole bottle gone, but I'm still getting topped up. Who's that dude with the gang looking proper? That's that motherfucker Astro, that be on one. I just need a little more drink, yeah, let's pour. Roll some weed up in a raw bitch, let's smoke. Off that heen, I'm soaring while you sleep, yeah, I go. Pouring up some lean, I'm riding dirty, crazy phone. Eyes long, faded stone, still get wicked with my bros. From the trenches, clutch on wrenches if I need up that pole. Cook 'em up like pasta, keep a clip on me, no camera roll. If that boy keep acting fishy, then it's salmon on his stove. I've been with his shit since the jits got me feeling old. But fuck it, I get rich and I will never go broke and sell my soul. I've been with his shit, pour another drink, let's rock and roll. Light another spliff, I just took off like bitch, I'm gone.
She's like, how is he so proper? Oh, goddamn, I know I'm about to be a problem. I know I can kill this bitch cause I'm a monster. I don't fuck with crab ass niggas, I like lobster. Nah, it's gotta have a little bit.
To my Instagram.
What do you want to tell Joe Biden right now?
What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
Hey, yo.
Just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
I'm sorry,
Gonna make a deal with this diabolical bitch.
What you saying?
If you're back.
We are here live at the world premiere of Justice League. Ah!
This is
The Justice League.
Yeah.
What's up?
They should be popping up.
We should be popping up here in 2 seconds.
Oh, how did I get that off? That's my bad.
And we are back. We are back.
Why is that not coming off?
Yeah, I'm trying to see that too. Why it's not coming
See it
up.
on the screen there?
Yeah, it's just the title screen. Take the background. Tribe is saying take the background art off.
Oh, I found it. Boom. Thank you, Tribe. I clicked on the wrong one. But all right, we're back. It's the Justice League podcast. You know what I'm fucking saying? It's Prince Lockett. Today we got just Freddie's back. So make Fred live again. Everyone hashtag make Fred live again.
It worked, right? You guys, they've been on my helmet. I've been gallivanting around places, and I've been remoting in, and they basically it started a campaign that was make Fred live again. So I was actually in studio.
Because I gotta say that does get annoying. The person who's where to closer, get up on that. So it's frustrating. Like the person who always only shows up on Zoom, and never, and then they start complaining about like I can't hear and just show up. I mean, so I'm with these folks that were.
Dan, don't help him. Don't help them out.
I'm a lawyer. I'm going to help the man out. That's
I can appreciate that, and he's a fantastic attorney, might I add. So we have Mr. Dan Gillispie, attorney at law here in Billings, Montana. We also have Devon Braulick, a personal trainer.
That was
out
my
here.
bad on the misspelling of the name for everyone that sees that. That was me that messed up. It's okay.
So hey, I before we get too deep, I want to introduce you guys and let you guys, kind of let us know what each one of you do. Dan, how long have you been practicing law here in Billings, Montana? And Devon, just how long you've been doing personal training? And
one more sec. Can you reintroduce them? Josh is asking who's the guest today.
So the guests today are attorney at law Daniel Gillispie and personal trainer Devon Braulick. So those are our guests today. We're gonna just let these guys just kind of tell you guys a little bit about what they do and potentially how you could reach them in the community. So Dan, I'll let you take it away and just give us an idea who you are and how long you've been doing what you've been doing.
Yeah. Well, I've been here in Billings for about I think it'll be 17 years in October practicing law. Done a bit of everything right now. What I do is I do CPS cases. I represent parents in CPS cases, which has been an interesting kind of detour in my career, from what I was doing before, which is more personal injury and things where homeowners associations would be, getting into pissing contests and that sort of thing.
Right.
But it's been interesting work and rewarding. And so not taking any new private cases or private referrals. So, I don't need to share. I don't need to share the business contact info out there.
Don't call me. He's like,
don't call. So I'd been getting these. I thought they were scam calls because it would say, "Hey, Google needs to verify your business listing." I was like, "Oh Christ, this is just some phishing thing." and then that's real. And then apparently because then I get an email from I sort of said something rude. Actually answered the phone and said something rude to them, and then like within a minute, get an email from Google that says we've suspended your listing and we're taking your ad down. I was like, well, that's fine by me. So I'm a little bit under the radar anymore.
And but before Tribe kind of chimed in right now that Daniel, you do some music too.
This was who I was supposed to be meeting, huh? Yeah. What you guys said, yeah.
Apparently you do music better than Prince here. So
I don't. It's not a competition, Fred. It's the community of musicians in the world.
Did you hear that, Tribe? He said it's a community. So
yeah.
That's a. You see how good of an attorney he is right there. He deflected and diverted energy
definitely sidestepped.
A good PR
the insinuation.
That was a Matrix level dodge right there that he did right there. It's about the community, he said. Clearly a political career in his future also. That was the good stuff. So you do music too, correct?
Yeah, no. I've played in a few different bands. Right now we have a band where we've been together close to half a year and still have not managed to come up with a name, but we've written probably about 40 minutes of music and done a few kind of house party type gigs. And so playing drums with them. Like I said, I'm refusing to play guitar with this band. I'm only going to play drums. And so I'm stuck
put your foot down. Yeah.
I put my both feet down in a rhythmic fashion.
I like how you didn't put a name on it because it's like you just simply put no name on it.
No name.
Can I quickly have both you guys sit more on the edge of your seat and get up in them mics for me?
Get intimate with the mic.
Get intimate with it.
Trust me, they're clean. I clean them before every show now.
This mic might end in a marriage.
That's the mic for the songs back there.
So, Devon, you have and we have an interesting connection too. Devon is actually my cousin. So he's actually my family member too. You recently just started your own personal training entity. So why don't you give us a little idea of?
I was
of
gonna
what
say
it
you looked
is
a
and-
lot different when from last time I seen you.
Yeah, man. As far as just to touch base a little bit about me too, what makes this really special for me is, growing up, I really was always the skinny kid. I never worked out. He knows me as the skinny kid. And I never really stepped under the weights. And once I started really getting in tune with the weights, I got into a really crazy motorcycle accident. I almost didn't make it.
It almost killed you, didn't it? Yeah. You were in basically a coma for for a while, for 8 days.
8 days. Yeah.
I figured out how to edit your name.
Fix that shit, man. So 8 days. I broke both of my hips, fractured my left shoulder, fractured the left collarbone, shattered my pelvis, broke my left femur, lacerated the liver, collapsed the lung. I got a brain injury. And all of these things, listening to the doctors telling me, you won't walk for a year, you'll be in a wheelchair, you'll be bedridden, just take it easy. Sometimes it takes that stubborn mentality, in order to get over those walls. And what I did was I came back from that. And in a few months' time, I was walking. And it was all about the perseverance, So my job now, as getting certified as a personal trainer, was that for me, it's not showing you something that you can easily learn on the internet. It's showing you that you are stronger than you really think, to have that extra base there, to have somebody just kind of, sometimes it takes a little shit talking, excuse my language, but sometimes it takes somebody to tell you that you're being a little bitch about this right now. Like, get up. Like, you just walked 22,000 steps yesterday and you're telling me you can't walk 6 miles every day for me. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of my job personally. I like to put people to the test, and it's very rewarding for me. It's a get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I don't even really care. Like, I feel great.
So I got a comment in here for both of you guys. First with you, Blaze said my homie just got in a coma for a bike wreck.
Yeah. So your homie just got into a coma and a bike wreck. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then he said, Josh said, way to preserve, man. And his question for you was, what style of music does his band play?
So I'd say we're like kind of 90s alternative is what I mean, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam, or who we cover when we do covers. So it's, 90s alternative.
Right. Tribe said, so you want to help me get ready for this fight in November? Daniel, you want to sponsor me?
and
I'm a lawyer, but I'm not one of those kind of lawyers that's got,
and he's not joking. He is legitimately going to be fighting in a Fusion Night fight in November. I commend him for trying to do this. When he told me he was doing it, obviously I instantly let him know, like, hey, if you need anything, I'll sponsor you, whatever you need or whatever. But as I've thought about this, since he told me he was going to do this, I got a ton of respect for a guy that's basically going to get off of his couch, go train a few months, and he's going to go try it because it's something that he's wanted to do.
But he has them hands.
Yes. Yeah.
He hands out them knuckle sandwiches, boy.
Look, man,
Some folks that can attest to that running around this camp right now. So the fact that he's willing to put himself out there in something like that, a dream of his, something that he wants to do, I commend him for that. And I think that we all could learn something from, no matter where you're at in your life. If it's something that you want to do, the only real limitation or barrier that is there is yourself. You know what I mean? And the only ask I have really for him, other than don't
not get fucked up,
is I want to walk to the ring. I've always wanted to walk to the ring and experience that euphoria when you're doing something like that. So I hope he can make that happen for me.
So this is kind of your guys' episode. You're cool with the cussing, right?
I mean, if you guys are cool with it, I'm.
All right.
It's the difference between the radio show and the
podcast. The radio they'll straight to jail,
Tribe,
straight to fucking jail.
Tribe says move your mic up.
Devon.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, fucking. I normally cuss a lot, but Tribe and Fred have been telling me to be more professional sometimes. So we're working on it.
Man, that's crazy.
Listen.
I'm a loose cannon.
I'm going to tell you, this dude has jumped leaps and bounds. When we first started to do the podcast, he would just basically be here. He was almost like a prop. Most people thought he was a mannequin or some shit that we had over there because he really didn't talk that much, right? And now he can carry a conversation, and I've watched him open his wings as he's done this with a lot of prodding from me, more from Tribe. Tribe he'll pull your skin off if he feels you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, and we love him for that. But he's jumped leaps and bounds. So kudos to you, Mr. Prince.
Appreciate that. We got Leaf in here. He says, "What's up, boys?"
What's up?
What up?
I said Leaf. Why did I say Leaf?
Kicking it with Leaf, which is a show. I think it's every day. I want to say 7 to 9 on 98.5 The Wolf. So you guys go and check him out and what he has going on. Leif is a remarkable individual. He does consulting. He does a lot of other things business related in the community. He's definitely an asset to our community. So you guys definitely get out and or when you're riding in the morning, tune in.
Quick question, Fred. So this morning when I was on Shan's podcast, Tribe was saying this too, and he said it earlier. Buzz in the beehive. Do you know what that means? Because he said something about it this morning too.
Yes. That may be a podcast too down the road. You never know. You know what I mean?
Is that another evolution?
It might be something else. So
hell yeah. Okay. He keeps saying that, so I was just wondering.
So
fire.
Just this particular or podcast. Obviously the Justice League is a fully functional, multifaceted,
multidisciplinary.
Are you watching the comments?
What do you say? You should be on here to support the show. Oh my gosh, here we go. Yeah, it always gets interesting in the comment section.
No, sure.
The comments, the comment section on the internet is the most undefeated, unbeatable.
No, that's the best place to look at anything.
I literally, no matter what you do, if you watch a some video or some on YouTube, I'm often more interested in what the comments say than what the video is a lot of times.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I gotta see the comments for this.
It's like it's like a masochistic thing, though, isn't it? Though, I mean, you look at those comments, you're like, Christ, these people are idiots. I want to read more of this, because it pisses me off. Like, I try and avoid the comments usually, but it is like, you give people just a shred of anonymity and they'll run with it.
Blaze a breather. He was just saying you should be here for all of us. It's a group show. Josh asked, where do you train at? What's poppin', Jesse? Good to see you, man. Where do you train at, Devon? And try to talk into the mic. I think you're talking a little over it.
Yeah, no, for
there you
sure.
go.
Yeah. Just getting used to this thing a little bit. So I train for myself, but I rent Plaza out as my platform. So anybody who does come to train with me, a lot of the times I do like to get them under the membership over there at Plaza Fitness. For anybody who doesn't know where that's at, it's over there on Moore Lane. It's right in between the tracks and Central right there. It's a really, really, really low-key gym. They've been around for about 35 years. Pam and Sean, really great people over there. It's pretty exclusive. It's 24-hour gym. It's about $40 a month, cheaper for students, medical workers, stuff like. It's definitely worth checking out. But I do training all over too. So a lot of it's like I was telling you before, a lot of my stuff is based on kind of meeting those mental barriers and breaking them. I like to push people a little bit, let them learn a little something new about themselves each time they come and train. So, that could be out in the frickin' snow for all you know.
Sorry, I'm not laughing.
No, these comments are ridiculous though.
So let's get on point, you guys, in the comments, man. Let's we're glad that people come on and support.
And I really do appreciate the support, but this makes me look a little bad, my G.
So I will say what I will say is we appreciate everybody that supports the show, man. We really do. This show obviously doesn't work without the people tuning in and having some interaction with what we're doing. Podcasting is, it's been here a while, but it's kind of fairly new at its proliferation in the community and how many podcasts are starting to pop up around here. So
this used to give me mad anxiety. I'm fucking chilling right now.
No, you're really good at it. And as far as what we got going on, obviously we're missing the third wheel of this show, which is we all represent a wheel in the show. It's myself, it's Prince, and it's Tribe. Tribe, is doing some stuff that he has to do, which Tribe has been carries my weight all the time. So as far as that goes, so hey man, it's nothing but love, and we appreciate everybody that kind of checks us, that checks out the show, man. So it's all love, man, and let's have a great show. It's not going to be as long as the show.
I'm glad to see you in here for this.
But
I'm glad to see you in here for this. Love you.
Let's get back to it. So Dan,
hold on real quick. Let me touch base. I see Josh said Plaza's cool, but I wish they had a sauna. My brother, they do have a sauna.
Oh,
we have a sauna and there's a steam room. I mean, come on, man. Who doesn't want to go to the gym and there'd be like 10 people in there?
You got to try it out now, Josh.
Check it out, man. Come check us out. I'll buy the first session. I'll buy your first session with me just so you can see what training with me is like. And then we go from there.
I need to train. I got this beer belly, man. I was a skinny kid
Come
too.
With me, boy.
Yeah. I was a
with me.
skinny
Come
kid, and then
see
I
me,
turned
man.
30, and then that's.
Hey, no, you'll be.
And I'm still a
all the
skinny
kids
kid,
in
but
the
my
house.
belly is big.
Nah, we get you
Isn't
right.
that how that goes? I'm still a skinny kid, but my stomach hangs over
He's
my
like,
pants.
no, I got abs. They just under here.
Yeah, they're hidden. They're hidden for now.
You can feel them.
He said my abs are the king of hide and go seek.
So I wanted to get into a little bit. I'm kind of, because I know we got to bounce it back and forth. What are you practicing law in? Like, because I know
he said child CPS.
CPS. So
Yeah,
child.
yeah, so it's like
family
when-
law, basically.
It's different than family law, because I think of family law as being, divorces and child custody. Situations where people might not agree on what's best for their kids, but they're basically, competent parents. And cases I'm involved in is where sometimes it's a situation where parents can't safely parent their kids, and so it's about getting them the resources so they can, or in the circumstances where CPS is saying this is unsafe and it's not unsafe, pushing
Right.
back against that as well. So I mean, it's a more.
So you do both sides?
Well, I just do the parents.
Okay,
I'm just on the side, but people, it's different than other areas of law where it's a little more collaborative, or oftentimes that's going to be the best route for people. It's different than, you take a personal injury case, you're just trying to get the most money you can. There's no sense of I'm trying to collaborate with the insurance company on
Right.
what they're saying. But, with the CPS case is just how much contact there is between the parent and the social worker, and just usually how far things have to go before they've stepped in. That kind of changes the dynamic. And sometimes it can be a situation where it was only, one parent ran into a situation. The other one is what's called the non-offending parent. They haven't done anything. Right. And so, but they still have a right to counsel. And oftentimes that's, guiding them through the process. So it's not always the bad parent, quote unquote, that I'm representing. But basically I only do parents. I mean, they made some changes in the law where kids have attorneys. So on very rare occasion, I'll have one of the kids as my clients. But I find I work better with the parents, and I'm able to kind of, communicate on, get on to people's level and make sure they're being heard, and make sure I'm responsive to what their needs are, but also, giving them straight honest facts about this is where you stand. If you go in there and fight everything, you've got that right to do it, but you want to pick your battles. You don't want to just fight for the sake of it, because that's that's where you wind up digging in, and time is not on your side with those cases. I mean, there's some deadlines that need to be met, and if not, you're getting into a different sort of situation of whether you're going to be able to keep your kids or not. So so I mean, it's it's high stakes stuff in that sense, but usually the cases are so drawn out or they take long enough that if things are going off the rails, you've got time to get it reset and make
Right.
sure, so it's been I've been doing it for about 3 years now in this area of law. And like I said, I mean, I find the goal worthy and I find the work generally interesting. I like
Right.
that I interact with the same set of attorneys as well. When I was doing family law and injury work primarily, you get different attorneys on the other side on every single case. And so you're dealing with people's each individual emotions and trying to figure out, or it's somebody you've never worked with before and trying to figure out, where are they coming from? How are they, what tricks are they trying to pull and that sort of thing. But if you deal with the same people day in, day out, there becomes more of an understanding. You can focus on the substance of what the issue is instead of, is this person trying to fuck me over here?
Right.
And I'm,
which I would assume most people they think that. I think a good thing with you too, Dan, and how you practice is Dan is a good cross section between where personal and reality meet. And what I mean by that is a lot of times when you go into a legal situation, especially when it's involving parenting or whatever,
take it out of the thinking of this is how things should be. This is, what I feel my rights are. And let's put it into context of what are your possible decisions you can make and what are the outcomes or range of outcomes that'll happen from those decisions. Because really that's all you have. How you feel about the process is not going to change how the process works, and so, but how do you we're emotion. I tell people we're dealing with human beings the whole way up and down in the legal process. So you can't expect necessarily to get the same uniformity that you would
Right.
of, running a computer program, because
right.
the parties, the lawyers, the judges, every one of them is a person who's got their own biases, has their own sense of things, has their own past that colors how they see a circumstance in front of them, both personally and then also, professionally, where, things you've seen parties do in other cases, that's gonna, you might be thinking of that past case and not the present case as much, but they feel similar. And so, I'm as subject to it as anybody else is. I
Right.
try and approach each case as, within the four walls of that client and their needs. But we're all human, and we do have our, you'll hear certain phrases that just, you're like, this person is not getting it. And maybe they are, but it just sounds the same as what you've heard from somebody who wasn't getting it in the past. So
Right.
So to answer everyone that was asking you what happened there, I was trying to make them solo, so I accidentally clicked off my screen. I didn't realize I made it silent, but I figured out how to do it without doing that now.
It's all good. Thank you.
Yeah, Blaze. It's you got to support the group if you're supporting. So everyone's kind of on that same agenda. Get with the program. What's popping, Steezy? I saw you in there. I'm super proud of you. I see you taking care of that new little baby, looking beautiful. No, you are not a dick rider for agreeing with Tribe. Everyone is good with having their own opinion. You know what I mean? Back to the conversation. I just wanted to get some of those comments real quick. And Hill, that was a good comment. I cannot read all of it. Fred can if he wants to. I put it back up, Fred.
No, I don't.
Okay.
So let's keep it moving the way that we need to keep it moving, and stay above the fray, because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Stay out of the water.
But Dan, I think that you came, the information that you just gave when it comes to, you can have one particular case, and each judge, you go in front of different judges, and, I would say maybe 90% of the judgment would be the same across all the judges, but there would be that 10% nuanced points within that are a little different, that are because of this judge's prior experience, lifestyle, where they grew up. All of these things are going to affect where the judgment is.
Yeah, and so much of how you're presenting a case is about, you might have 3 different sets of facts that all go to the same point. Which one you choose that it's going to be most effective with the judge, I think, is where the differences are. But I always tell people, it's, you have basically it's like a balloon amount of attention that the judge can put towards something, and if you take up some portion of that, 100% of their attention with something that they're not going to respond to, you've limited yourself in what even if something's helpful and kind of proves a point, if it doesn't prove it enough, it's actually hurting you.
Yes.
And that's, I think that's sometimes, because what do we do as people when we're mad about something or stewing over it? I mean, we're going over every little single detail of why we're, and then they did this and they did this, and they also, I can't prove it, but I think they did this. And it's like, well, no, you got to just stick with the one thing that really proves the point. And that's what we're going to go in and put the focus on, because that's what's effective.
And I think that's why people honestly get in trouble is, they'll have a litany of things that you did or didn't do. And it's not about what you did or didn't do. It's the things that we can actually prove and then present to the judge as the judging party in this, that could say, well, there's proof that this happened over here, as opposed to, an allegation that's only proof. You can only really prove that. There's nothing that we can give them to prove any of that stuff. So I think that's an important factor when people go into litigation or a law type atmosphere.
Well, I always think it's fine. You hear about, so hearsay is when you're saying somebody else said something and that thing they said is the truth. And in court, you have to have the person who originally said the thing there in court to testify. Pretty much everything of how we understand life and learn anything and go about our day is based on hearsay, though.
Right.
Like, I mean, if one of my friends said, hey, did you hear that, so-and-so is going on vacation next week? No, I didn't. Hope they have a good time. That's hearsay, but it's not like, well, until they tell me they're going on vacation, I don't know that is happening. Like,
right.
Can you imagine if we behaved that way in life?
Right.
That's actually exactly how I behave.
Yeah. If I don't see it, it ain't real.
It ain't. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen.
No picture, no proof.
So, and Devon, getting back to you on the personal training aspect of it, is there anything what do you look for when a person comes in?
Why are you taking the question is out of my head? Ask your own
question. I'm sorry about that.
All right, I wanted to ask when someone comes in to you as a personal trainer, what are you like baseline looking off of, and what are you thinking about to, like, when you're setting up a plan, what do you think about to get them to their goal?
So everybody comes in different. You know what I mean? It's never a one size fits all for everybody. So I can never say it's always one approach for anybody that comes in. I usually have a pretty basic guideline how I like to go about things. So I sit down. Obviously we get straight to the business. We talk about the pricing. I need to know that you can afford this, and I need to know that you're going to be committed to this. Not only that, but we do go over the goals. Very seldom do people want to get like just huge. Most people just want to lose some weight. So it's all about what your goal is specifically. But I always send people up to that Total Nutrition up there on Grand.
Yeah.
And I make them do an in-body scan. So then that way I know exactly what your body fat percent is. I know exactly, what you need to work on. And then not only that, but it's free. So, I'm giving Total Nutrition some people by sending them down there. But not only that, but if you're ever just wondering, like, man, a lot of the problem with people nowadays is they start working out. They just want to get to the weights, but they also want to lose weight. So 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks, a month, they get on the scale and it's the same weight. And I tell them, I'm like, well, you're losing fat, but you're also building muscle.
Right.
So it's nice when I can
Right.
send them to Total Nutrition and they can actually see, because it tells you how big each one of your arms weighs, like your legs, your core, all that.
Right.
So they can see, number by number specifically
A
their
breakdown.
progress.
So there's more of that visual interpretation that helps people accept a little bit better.
Right, because people want instant gratification.
Right.
And that's a lot of the thing about the gym. Teaching people about the gym nowadays, it's like teaching people the art of delayed gratification. And that's difficult for most people. Most people want a right now. So every day they go to the gym, they're staring in the mirror. Even if they are making gains or progress, they don't notice it. So,
and I think that's why a lot of times, and I don't know, you can elaborate a little bit more, that people stop working out is because they don't get the results.
They don't see it.
Well,
and they just quit. But they don't realize there's a ton of stuff going on.
There's a whole bunch of stuff you don't see going on. And people don't see that. Go ahead.
And do you think people sometimes they come out the gate, they're like, okay, I'm ready to do this, and then they charge too hard into it, and it's not sustainable for where they're at, and then they get frustrated because it's just
Well, and that's true. A lot of it I've noticed is it's a mindset. A lot of people will be like, you're doing too much, you're gonna burn out. I believe that burnout is a mindset. I believe that you only burn out if you truly believe you're going to burn out. So if you go into this gun ho thinking, all right, I'm gonna gain 50 pounds in 3 months, to be honest, like, you'd be surprised what the mind can do.
Right.
It's all about your approach going into the gym mentally. No way did anybody think that I was going to get up to 225 from 165, especially with the past that I had.
Right.
But it was literally every single day, the grind when you don't want to, pushing past the barriers, pushing past that mental wall. I'm telling you, the crazy things that can happen if you just believe.
That sounds like a lot of I like one of the personal trainers I like to watch. I've been watching on Instagram is a guy, I think his name is David Goggins.
Yeah.
And Goggins is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
If you kind of knew Goggins' story, Goggins was severely an overweight guy as a young guy, and decided that he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I think that's something like that. He wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and he ended up doing it. And like he's like, oh man, he's remarkable, but he's a no frills, no nonsense kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that's like, get off of your fat ass.
Yeah.
You want this? You know it's not gonna come to you. You know what I mean?
Who's
Are you
gonna
a
carry
bitch?
the
Are you a
boats?
man? You know what I mean? And sometimes when you get up, you got to eat fire, and fire got to come out your ass, and all this stuff that he's saying to you or whatever. And he's just, you know what I mean? But there's an element of understanding. Ultimately, what he's trying to say is, listen, dude, you got to be willing to walk through the fire again and again and again and again in life if you want to be successful. You got to be willing to do that to have any semblance of success, whether it's physical.
We got something happen there.
Josh was saying diet is huge. Do you do diet plans?
Yeah, so diet is, a lot
Sorry,
of people,
friend.
Oh no, you're good.
A lot of people say diet is 100% what's going to help you with the outcome. I'm like, it's 50-50. It's 50 mindset, 50 diet, okay? Because I know some people that went to prison and got huge on ramen, body by ramen, okay? The most unhealthy thing for you. Yes, in the long run, I do diet plans. I do 2 separate programs. Typically, just for an average, I do $50 per session. That's just, we're coming in, we're doing a workout. I'm sending you with a weekly workout regimen, things you do on your own. And then the other option is, $75 an hour. You could not only get your one-on-ones at whichever rate you want to use them, because I sell them in bundle packs. But not only do you get your one-on-ones, you're also getting the weekly meal regimens, which will change, so you're not eating the same mundane thing, and your weekly workout regimens, and those will intensify. We're focusing on progressive overload and all the good stuff. So you're really getting the bang for your buck. You're kind of getting a pocket pal that's going to be texting you on your ass, hey, what are you eating? What's your calorie count today? I need to know.
Pocket everything.
Yeah,
Good.
so it's like, if you had a question, I know, right? If you had a question about something, I'm always available. So you're not just paying for one-on-one workout sessions. You got yourself a buddy.
It sounds like they went outside, so I can open the door and cool this off.
But obviously we want to be, healthy. It's crazy to me in a modern world to where we have as many amenities that we have that we're probably the most unhealthy we've ever been in the history
Yeah, well,
of the planet.
we're evolved where if you find a fat or a sugar source, it might be the only source of it we're going to get for 2 weeks, and now it's like everywhere,
every day, everywhere,
Yeah.
every minute.
Every day, yeah.
So Hill made a comment. I think she was talking to you. She said, "I'm happy to see a male who wants to be a part of the CPS program in any capacity. Our family has 3 foster boys, and there needs to be more people who are actually there for their kids." What I was going to ask off of that comment is, do you deal with foster children too? Then,
Well, the kids wind up when CPS steps in. There's a number of different places that the kids might wind up, including sometimes they are still in the house with the parent.
I
but
was
the
a foster
CPS
child with
Right.
parents that were on and selling drugs. So
Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, a grandparent or a aunt or uncle or something like that. And then sometimes it's what they call regular foster care. And that's just, somebody who's on the list. They've passed a background check, they've been sort of vetted, and, a kid, both parents get arrested and are in jail. And so obviously something needs to happen with these kids, and, there's no relatives in the area. And then they go into regular foster care. And so a lot of the kids that are the children of parents that I'm representing are in some form of foster care or another. I wind up not interacting with the kids very much though, because they have actually 2 attorneys now. They have both their own attorney, and then they have what they call guardian ad litem, who's also kind of their attorney. And the nuance of that is absolutely not worth exploring on this podcast right now. But the point of that being, there's more than a few eyes on the situation. I mean, that's one thing about it, is there's several different levels of review that go with the process, which is not to say, there aren't situations that can be extremely frustrating for the parents that are trying to do the right thing, or dealing with a worker who's not, just kind of butting heads with them. I mean, that it's not absolutely not a lie to say that there's situations where the effect of the process is unfair. But certainly that's not the intention of what's going on. But that's part of my job, is to size up the difference between, do I have a parent who's just refusing to do anything that they're asked to do and wants to whine about, everybody's making it so hard for me, but they're not taking the first step? Or is this person taking every single step and they're being held up by the process, and that's, some of those discussions wind up being a little bit uncomfortable at times when it's the take of, no, you need to get your shit together before I can do anything.
I can't help you until you help
I
yourself.
can't help. Yeah, no, like, this is, if we go in, this is what's going to happen, and again, that goes back to that sense of, instead of looking at the emotions and the right and wrong, let's put it into the boxes of what are our choices right now and what are the likely outcomes from that. And then that simplifies the thinking, or at least it simplifies the understanding of here's where my role in this is. And
so I have so OG certified JP. He had a more of a kind of a statement, and I wanted to get your impression of it.
That name was crazy.
Huh?
OG certified JP.
Oh yeah, I just gave his surname. His initials, JP. It says the system is flawed and the process isn't a trustworthy thing these days. I just went through a whole court process. Fortunately, I got sole custody of my kids in the end, but the process was bullshit and based on the fact that I wasn't a white person and am a violent offender and looked like a chili or a cholo from LA. I had to go through hell because my kid's mother is a white female, comes from a rich family, and can cry and manipulate like no other. They tried to hit me with everything they could, even going as far as filing to get the records of who came to visit me in jail over 20 years ago and how I conducted myself in prison for 20 years. The way I was able to keep my kids safe was by doing my due diligence and believing in myself and my abilities and not leaving it up to the system or chance. What is your response to that? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I guess I would start at the lead there. He's got full custody of his child. So, I mean, and I mean, every case, every circumstance is different. Obviously, that kind of incarceration history, and if you're a violent offender, is going to color how the situation is looked at. Is there racial bias in the system? Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
I don't think, and that's where people talk about, hidden bias, because people say, I'm not racist. I'm not treating this person differently, but there's unconscious processes that go.
Right.
And then there's also that we have disproportionate rates of incarceration for minorities versus white people. But, at the same time, there's a process to get through, and it's not always about whether it's fair or unfair to you as the parent. It's about, we need to make sure the safety of this child is protected. And and again, I would go back, the process looks pretty ugly sometimes, but it's about outcomes. And that goes right back to what I was saying of how I try to approach things is, okay, let's look at what your choices are, and you can fight on this, but is it going to be effective to get you to where you want to do? And so I mean, I commend him for figuring that out and saying, hey, I'm going to, whether I like this or not, I'm going to have to knuckle down and do what I need to do for my kid. And that's fantastic. So I mean, I can't absolutely defend the process, but at the same time, I can't say that there's some alternative way to go about it that would be clearly better. I mean, it's like they say, democracy is the worst system we have other than all the others.
Right.
And that's sort of how it is too. But
and unfortunately, when it comes to the fairness and then on the unfairness of the systems and the biases that are in it, and have historically been there, that are in there. Something my father would tell me when it came to that specifically is sometimes us folks of color, we focus on certain things and we don't accept some of the things that it is what it is, and we have to work within that spectrum. He would always tell me a story. He would say, basically I was complaining as a kid, and I thought that some kids of a different ethnicity were being let off, and they were hammering me hard or whatever, and I felt it had something to do with my color or whatever. And he basically says, well, let's do this, right? Let's say that you're in a room. In a room, there's a door and a window. Let's say the door represents racism, and everything you want is on the other side of this door, right? He said, son, never get so focused on the door to where you're always complaining about, you know what, I should be able to go through that door. It's unfair that I'm watching these other people go through this door and I can't get in. When there's a window, and you could have just went out the window, and you might have to go over a couple of yards and run through a yard with dogs or whatever, but you can get to that other side. And there's something powerful about when you get to the other side is the guys that just walked through the door knew that they just walked through the door. You ended up where they ended up, and they knew you had to do more. There's a psychological power in that. Don't, you know what I mean? That's not fair, but use it to your advantage to dominate, and oftentimes, folks of color that can do that, they often are very, very successful. OG is a testament to that. Somebody that has had to go out the window and around, and he's been wildly successful in his life because of that. And I think you're typically a little bit stronger, and you can handle more in life when you do that type of thing. What's your impression of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's true. I mean, it's definitely not a justification to say, well, however society is and whatever biases are in the system, people just have to get over that. I mean, that's not acceptable. But at the same time, it is a thing of everybody has their own challenges, and what the challenges are for somebody like you versus somebody like me being different races are different, but that doesn't mean that everything in my life has been easy or not had its own unfairness that came in. I
Right.
mean, it's what our parents taught us when we're, small children.
Right.
Life's not fair. I mean, life is not fair, and it comes at us in a number of different ways, and by no means does that mean it should just be accepted.
Right.
But we're each living our own individual existence, and
Right.
we only get the time that we're given on this earth to get what we want out of it, and you
Right.
pick your battles. And I mean, if somebody wants to be small-minded, that's their loss in the world. But
And they're often weakened. They're often a weaker entity from doing that, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
You minimize interaction. You minimize your ability. More people or more walks of life. It really does make you stronger because you see things from different ways and you implement some of this stuff into your psyche or your day to day. It's inevitably going to make you a stronger entity.
Yeah, I got a couple of good comments for this one. For the topic. So Hill said it's frustrating for foster families too. Sometimes parents get the kids right back, but they still have no stability and the kids end up right back in foster care. My family is dealing with this right now. It's us who have to deal with the child being disappointed and hurt and sad. Josh says sexism goes into effect a lot of the times. I have friends who are good ass men who are fighting for their kids, but the system makes it extremely hard for them no matter what right steps they take to get custody. My dad had to fight for years to get full custody from my mom, and no lie, my mom is batshit crazy, but Montana made it super hard for him still. Montana fares more with the mother more so than the father, from what I've learned. Jesse said, I might not trust the system, but it's the good people within the system that make the difference. Once it becomes just a job to the workers, that's when things go south. And yes, life's not fair. It's how you deal with it that matters.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to that Josh comment. Do you think how did he put that? Fares more with the mother more so than the father?
I mean, I think not that I tend to see less as a bias built in, to be honest. Having done divorce and child custody before I did these.
That's not
these
really
cases.
what you're working with.
Well, I mean, but I mean, that's it all kind of. This all feels like family law,
Yes.
and it is. I mean, I'd say the circumstances often favor the mother because that's what the arrangement was. Oftentimes the male is the income earner and the mom is the caretaker
nurturer.
and the nurturer.
Yep, that's right.
And in circumstances where that's flipped around, I'd say the results tend to be flipped around. But if you're somebody who's working 80 hours a week, 70 hours a week to provide for your kids, that's great. And when it was a unified household, that made sense. But when it's going to be two households and you say, well, I want 50-50, but I'm going to keep working, the 70 hours a week and the kids just in childcare being watched by other people instead of with the mom, then is it biased against the dad, or is it just the circumstances is the challenge? I mean, I'd say most things being equal, if you have two parents that have the same work schedule and are in the same town and neither of them has some significant issue that they're working through, you're usually going to see a 50-50 parenting plan if the kid's old enough. I mean, if the kid's like 2 months old, or
mom, probably.
newborn, probably towards the mom. So I mean, I think dads who are sitting out there who are on the fence about what to do with their situation or what to push for, I would say, if your arrangement makes you available to parent your kid, absolutely push for it. I don't think you're going to find those barriers, and so
Right.
I would hate for somebody to think it's not even worth fighting for the kid, because the kids, they need both parents if both parents can be available and safe for their kids. And so and the law presumes that. I mean, the law basically says to the extent you can get it to a 50-50 schedule, that's what's best. But I mean, it's a trite lawyer answer, but I mean, every case has its own circumstances.
Say, everything is different.
Yeah. So it's very rare. I mean, you see institutional kind of outcomes, but I mean, you get down to the level of case by case, and most of them you can, if you take a step back, you say, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense why that progressed the way it did.
No, that makes sense. Makes sense.
That was, I think that should give folks some clarity of what you're looking for when you go into something like this.
And that's not something you hear much.
It's really you're typically if you're battling for custody 9 out of 10 times, the two parties don't get along anyway. That's why you're there, right? So you're already going in. Both sides are going to have biases against the other person. That's just naturally right. And you don't talk about what you did. You talk about what they did. Yeah, that's typically how it goes, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have an understanding, and I assume from an attorney standpoint, you already have that built in, that things that the other parent may view as detrimental in a situation, and you don't. There's on both sides like that, and that has to be weighed in.
Right, and there's a oftentimes a circumstance where it's like, something that now that they're separated, this is a huge problem. I always didn't like it, but you look at the history of the relationship, and it's like, no, for 15 years you were just fine with the arrangement until it became ammunition to you, like
right. And then all the other the ills now become like bullets in the gun now, right? Yeah. And this person is terrible, or whatever. And a lot of that is emotionally driven, which typically in society, when you operate too much from an emotional standpoint, the outcome's not really good all the time.
And if I can say one thing that I know will almost always bias a judge against you, it's that if they think you're attacking the other parent, and even if it's just, let the facts speak for themselves, but if you're constantly telling the other parent that they're drunk, or they don't watch their kids, or they don't do anything, or they're lazy or something like that, and the judge gets a sense that that's how you treat the other parent, it doesn't even matter if you're justified. Some people are lazy and are drunks and are kind of crappy parents, but the facts will bear it out. But if you're going after them on it and making it personal and basically harassing the other person over it, the kids pick up on that. I mean, I don't care what people say. Well, it's just on the text message, or they're never in the room when we were having those arguments. The kids pick up on that stuff. And and two, it speaks to the judge that, well, can I really trust this person to put their emotions aside and put the kids first if they can't stop bad mouthing their ex on Facebook?
Right. Which
this is shared on social media and all that. So I don't know if I should say that, but everyone should get rid of all their social media other than to continue watching the Justice League.
Yes.
I still don't have TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. I
honestly just got a TikTok to be fair, and it's music related. Why I got it. Any of that stuff.
Wolves in the building.
It gets to a point. Obviously, I think social media you can use it to promote business.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to allow it for family members to see the kids or what they're doing, attacking people personally on social media, it will always do more harm to you than it would ever do what you're thinking for the person. As soon as you start to say things about another person on social media, I'm telling you, the algorithm proved this out. You people don't like you. They're probably justified in doing it. You shouldn't be doing it. It's a character exposer.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that with your social media. Like a lot of times, if you don't have anything good to say, guess what? Don't say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Do you post a lot of stuff on social media being a personal trainer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of thirst traps, or what are you into posting?
Yeah, he does.
I know.
Yeah, no, bro.
Listen,
don't make me pull it
up. Listen. I don't know if he personal training, GQ modeling. I don't know what he.
Like, no, look.
Don't ask DJ L nothing.
I got a fiance at home, and I just don't want to open no doors. So all my workout videos and sure, I see all these personal trainers and all their workout videos and their pictures, and it's all shirtless. But then they're got videos of them throwing their baby up in their story, and now they're a family man. But you know what that does. You know what I mean? Like,
I can show my physique without really having to expose myself like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I like a peaceful home.
Do you get a lot of work? Do you get a lot of work through social media though?
To be honest with you, I didn't even want social media, man. I was cool with not having Facebook. It was peaceful, but no, not really. You know, a lot of it's word of mouth. And for some reason, a lot of it is how I market it in person.
Right.
I'm much better like in person. And
so if someone comes through the door and you can talk to them, you can get them in.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But if I'm sitting here cold calling people, I don't like doing that. That's weird, you know. And I'll post like I'm learning how to do ads and stuff on Facebook and stuff, but I also don't want my life to be 100% surrounded by social media.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I get around to it, I'll record a video in the gym. I also don't like being that guy, you know, who's got his little tripod up in the gym working out. But I also know that it's for a purpose, not just to like, you know, and check me out.
Yeah,
but,
you're not what's that called? Ego lifting?
No, I'm, you know, and a lot of it I'm trying to check the form and show people, hey, look, these are some of the workout variations for chest day or whatever. And then I'll go a few days without doing it, and I'll do some meals and whatnot, you know. So it just varies for me, but no, it's the least amount of attention as possible is the best with the biggest outcome. You know,
I say the least amount of negative attention.
Yeah, no, for
right?
sure.
If you're promoting your business and trying to elevate what you're doing, I think that's what the purpose of what it really is for.
No, for sure.
You know, to use it like that. So,
but 100% of the time, there's going to be those negative energies out there. You know, that's just part of growing. I saw this thing the other day that said not everybody was meant to evolve.
Right.
That they're there as they're meant to be there as a reminder to see what it looks like when you don't.
True. Fred always looks like he's on vacation, Steezy says.
Facts with the shades, huh?
What? Yeah.
Yes. I like the shades.
He don't want y'all to see his eyes, man. That's a sneaky nigga.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
That's a sneaky nigga, guys.
No, he's not. And no, I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, so
I'm glad you weren't at work today. Wait, what would I do by myself here?
You'd have made it happen. You'd have just made it go, right? I have full faith you would have done what you need to do, and you would have kept it moving.
I would have figured something. I would have been over here just getting drunk as getting blitzed.
No, you wouldn't have been. How'd that work out last time?
Not good.
So no, you wouldn't have been doing that. Don't drink too much and do a podcast, or don't drink too much while you're doing the podcast.
During the podcast,
it can go badly. It can go badly, so don't do it.
Everybody's watching you sip. They're like, "Dang, bro, how many beers have you opened?"
It was not beers; it was a bottle. And for some reason, I started with mixed drinks, and I was watching the episode back. It was back to.
Look at Tribe thinks he's funny. He says he's hiding behind those glasses because of that outfit at Rapping the Rivers.
Oh,
that shit was obnoxious. What was up with the cowboy hat?
Wait, what's cowboy hat? Why did I ask? He didn't tell me about that when I asked him how it went.
I need to log into Facebook on here so I can pull up the fucking.
Oh god,
that's just so funny. You thought you was doing something, huh? You thought you was fly. I was.
Well, I will say the DMs that I got from people around the country were very positive. So
no, for sure.
No, it was
it was
a good outfit, but we know you, and it was just funny because you threw the cowboy hat on, tucked the shirt.
I only threw the cowboy hat.
Have a belt buckle too.
Oh, was it just for that one song?
Just for the one song.
So that's the picture I saw.
Yes,
that's the picture I saw.
It was just for the one song.
But no, that's his hat though. Like I got one at home too though. So don't let this fool play with you. I got boots and everything, nigga. What's up?
No, that's cool. It was just funny for Fred because I be with Fred all the time. That shit was funny as fuck. He took off the dress shoes and got cowboyed up.
I was gonna say I was hoping to hear that. He was like full on boots and belt buckle and
I literally
polo tie.
I literally got I get a comment from Tribe, and it just had a picture with me with the cowboy hat on, and it said, "Fred, really?" That was the only comment.
Was in the group chat.
Yeah, that's the only comment I got from him with that.
Fred,
yeah.
Really?
So it was just for the one song, okay, fellas. That's all.
That was
and you know, a cowboy hat. I mean, we live in Montana.
So what happened with the what happened with the set? Because I know I messed you up a little bit. But that was both of our fault.
So
That was
this is actually what happened, and EDO was there too, so you can ask him actually what happened. So what was supposed to be is the hooks were supposed to be left in, and then you had an undertrack, right? The hooks were taken out for some reason.
I think everything was taken out.
No, everything wasn't.
It was just the beat, right?
No, it was just the beat, and not for all of them. There was 3 songs that it was just the beat with nothing in it, right? And it, man, it's the wildest shit ever, man. So it starts, and I don't hear no hook, and I thought he didn't do it to me. Ain't no way he did it to me. I'm gonna okay, you overreacting. Okay, let's go. So then you kind of start to do it, and you're like, wait a minute, there's supposed to be some under shit here. Oh, he
Where
got
you guys
me.
running? Ableton or
I run Presona Swan.
Okay,
and so I made the decision. Hell no, I'm gonna pitch this shit right now. Right, we're going to the next one right now. And then what made it even worse is my pivot was EDO Syncrasy was gonna do a couple of songs in the set, right? So I'm like pivot to his. So I tell the engineer guy, I'm like pivot to his songs. He gave them a flash drive with no songs on it.
I put his
bro.
No,
so
Fred,
there's a crowd of people.
I put his songs on your flash drive.
Which he could have just used it.
Why didn't he do that?
Because he wanted to do his own mix. So he wanted to do a separate mix that he did on his deal because of some stuff that he had heard that he wanted to fix. And I'm not, you know your music better than I know your music. I understand that. But the problem was now we're waiting. So I do this long, introduction with him. That's basically like, here we go. I do this long introduction with him, like is why the older and the newer generation don't work together. Some of the older guys are very difficult to get off the perch, and they don't want to work with the younger guys.
Are you wearing the cowboy hat during this kind of old fart speech?
You probably were.
No, I wasn't yet. So I don't have the cowboy hat on yet. But so I'm just like, the older guys sometimes got to let the younger guys come in, and this is a thing that I'm going to let my guy EDO come and rock on some of my time and this and that. So everybody give him a big round of applause, man, and I'm going to be his hype man. So let's do this, man. Engineer dude going to kick his music. So I do it like that, and we're standing there and
looking like idiots.
It's like this, like toe like this.
Damn.
I mean, at least
and
for
so,
when people have like a lip sync disaster, there's something going. Like
it was dead silent.
So the shit is dead silent. Whatever. I'm looking. We got a couple dancers up there. We're all looking around. The crowd, they're all looking. I'm like, oh, this is what a car wreck looks like in real time. This is crazy, right? So I'm like, oh, so he whispers to me. He goes, I think I put the wrong flash drive in. So I'm looking at him like, you have to be shitting me. Right? So he just jumps off the stage and then runs back to his campsite to go get the flash drive, right? And I'm just standing there with the mic in my hand. So I said, well, I guess we won't be doing that today. So we're going to just go on and go to some other songs. And so I finished my other 2 songs out or whatever. It's all disconjointed or whatever. The fact that I was able to get out what I got out in the fashion it was just shows I'd done that before. Because everybody else would have just walked off the stage and been like, this shit's over with or whatever.
Shit's a wash.
So I tried to professionally finish the set or whatever, but Prince got me. And I love him though. So I just assume that he's just going to give me a free session. What do you guys think? He can just give me a free session and we can call it good?
I don't know about that.
What do you think?
Not 100%.
I can give you a discounted session.
I am not going to insert myself in the dynamic.
All
I
right.
think what I do know is you're both reasonable men. You'll work it out between each other in a way that's makes sense.
I will explain it. So I couldn't find the song in the studio, which I told you. I said, we're just going to use the original concert song. So how did you get through a concert with that? Because that was it said Wolf in the Building concert.
So the reason that
how did you get through the original concert with that? The concert before this?
What concert before this?
Oh, so this was the original.
This is the concert. This is the first time
How
I performed.
did you miss that when
years.
we first made the concert song then?
Because it was in the concert song, and what I wanted you to do was just lower.
Just
all I want. I didn't want anything else.
Remember.
The only thing I wanted was just for the track verse to be lowered. That's all I wanted.
Gee.
You know what would solve all of this?
Yes.
Practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Dude, that's how. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
So technically,
practice.
I rehearsed for weeks with this.
That's why I'm so confused.
But I rehearsed with the regular one.
Oh, with the actual song.
With the actual song, I rehearsed. I didn't do it because I hadn't got that one yet.
No, I love that.
You gotta practice how you're gonna play. You know. I mean, as a former band student, I gotta say, like, I think this is just a failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
100%. Yeah.
So listen here, guys. What we're gonna do is we're coming to the end of this pretty quickly. It was a pretty fast show. A lot happened during this show.
It was a fast show,
or whatnot. But I do appreciate you guys coming on. We had a great time. Dan, I'll just kind of give you an idea. I know you're not taking clients on at this point,
right?
But just kind of let everybody know. If there's some shout outs that you want to give to some folks. You definitely do that.
I'm just gonna shout out my bandmates. I'm gonna shout out MJ Cabrera and
what's your band name?
Luke Chapman. We call ourselves Just Friends, which is a shitty fucking name. I've
name.
And she's
you guys are just friends. We're just us.
We're
You're
just
friends.
Yeah. So I mean, we're getting to a point where we just need to decide, and like historically,
just put no label on it.
No label.
No, like
just friends.
Put no label on
just
it.
friends. Yeah.
What
So
if that was your band.
So my boys in No Label and Just Friends, MJ and Luke.
Oh, sick, dude.
So those are my shout outs.
So
you twin?
We want you to give a shout out to your folks, kind of tell people where they can get a hold of you. And
for sure. I'm always on Facebook, Devon Rondo Braulick. You can find me on TikTok. Ooh, you know what? Don't even bother with TikTok because I don't know that screen name by heart. Cell phone, you can always email me. Cell phone 406-598-7746. You can always just call and get some quotes, get some rates. Like I said, winter is coming up, so set yourself up a day pass. I'll buy the first session. You can get one free training session with me to see how that is. Shout out to my fiance at home, Rondell, kiddos, and all the fam.
Hell yeah. Josh says that band name might actually work. LOL. It's simple like band names were back in the day. So you can ride with it.
I appreciate the comment.
He has a band too. So.
Did you guys just become best friends?
Shout outs, my man.
High five.
So let's the first shout out I want to give is to Tribe. He's not here with us, so he's always here with us.
Things going on. We love him
in spirit. Shout out to him. Listen, if any of you guys, Tribe is going to be actually entering into the cage in November. Hey man, if you guys sponsor him, man, support him. See if there's something that you can do to help him with his training so he can get the W in this thing. Getting in the cage is not an easy thing. Somebody's punching you in the face. That's not going to be pleasant. And especially not when you actually don't do this.
Tribe might like it though. Tribe might like it. Not getting punched in the face, but he might enjoy the fighting.
He might. And I guess it'll depend on who they pick for the opponent. And I mean, there's a lot that goes into figuring out how this is going to go. So, you guys see him out, give him some water, some electrolytes, or whatever it is.
Give him some water.
Help him out.
He needs some water. Yeah.
I want to shout out you, Prince, and I want to shout out Dan Gillispie and Devon Braulick and what you two have going on, and you guys allowed us a little bit of your time to come and do whatever it is that
some
we think
hot
we do.
Time.
Some hot
shit, man. It's moist in here.
I'm glad I took a nice shower before I came in here. Apparently, we're gonna have to do it again.
No. Hey, I'm already warmed up. I'm going to the gym after this one.
I feel like we've been fighting.
I feel like we've been in the
we may have been fighting in that cage, but
burning calories
and just my kids and the folks in the comments that come and just offer us a small portion of their day to interact with us. Shout out to Hill and Maddie and OG, Blake or Blaze and the comment and just all the folks. If I missed you, it's not on purpose. I just I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors, which are Craig Hensel and Hensel Law, and Dr. Michael Hughes. And
NordVPN.
NordVPN. NordVPN.
Raekwon's.
And that's it. And just the social media community that allows us to do this. So we do appreciate you folks.
My shout outs are, of course, to you and Tribe, to our wonderful guests today. Maddie and Hill for holding it down at home and letting us do this shit. Tribe, miss you, man. I fucking think I did all right today. I didn't know how to put the banner in the background, but we'll figure that out next time. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to everybody watching and listening and tuning in every Saturday. The community is growing, so make sure you guys like, share, keep commenting while we're live, because that's what's going to get the engagement up and get us up in the algorithms. So that's about it. Yeah, I'll let Fred wrap us up.
So, without further ado, we bid you adieu.
Au revoir.
Peace. The Justice League.